Alright, welcome back Year 9s. It is now coming to the end of Thursday, period 5. We're going to do some reverse percentage changes. That's our title. I don't know why I've changed the date. Still the first. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, reverse percentages, that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to get straight in with some examples. We're going to do percentages of, well, not percentages of amounts, but we're looking at it as representing an amount of a bigger amount as a percentage. We've briefly talked about it as we did percentages and reverse percentages. So if we look at an amount of a larger amount as a percentage, so if we looked at, say, 12 out of 50, let's call that example 1, 12 out of 50 as a percentage. Now, sometimes you can use a calculator. This one's actually quite easy. You shouldn't need a calculator because 12 out of 50 represented a percentage. Well, 50 goes into 100. And percentage, we know percent means per 100. So, percentage. So I have 100. Double it. Double it. So 12 out of 50 is going to be the same as 24%. Now, if you needed to use a calculator to work that out, you do the amount you got divided by the amount that was available. So 12 divided by 50 times by 100, and that's going to give you 24. And then you can put your percent on. That's your score you get. All right. Now, another example, example 2. Let's say we got 26 out of 40 on a test. All right? I've not written the question out, I've written the bit of working. So 26 out of 40, on a test. Now, you might initially think that's not going to go into 100, but 40 doubled is 80, which means we then need another 20. All right? So that's like saying 2.5 of those. All right? Because 40, 80, and then a half of the 20, of 40, which is 20. So, what we can do is we can find 2.5 26s. I'll probably go into more detail about this. This is one you probably use a calculator for. But if we can recognise this already, I know there are some people in here that will recognise that 40 goes into 100 2.5 times. So, 26 times 2.5, and that's going to give us our percentage. So, 26 times 2 is 52, add 13 is 65. So that's actually 65%. To work that out, we do the same as the one above if we were using a calculator. 26 over 40 times 100, and that would hopefully give you 65%. I'm hoping I'm not just embarrassing myself, and I'm hoping that works. So that is finding percentages of an amount. And if questions say, 19 as a percentage of 37, all right, it's just the way the question's worded. It means this. So 12 as a percentage of 50, so what's 12 out of 50? All right? And that sort of wording will come up in the questions that you're going to be doing. Okay. So, if you just get those copied out, I'll move out the way a little bit. If you need to rewind it just so you can hear what I was saying and pause it and copy it out, feel free, Miss or Sir, whoever's covering, to do that. And, yeah, just unpause me when you're ready and I'll carry on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at, examples 3 and 4, but we're going to start with example 3 because that's in order. Now, we're looking at reverse percentage changes. Now, what that means is, what was the price before the percentage change? Okay, so what we're saying is, we've been doing over the past few lessons, here's an amount, increase or decrease by a percentage. So you add it on or take away. But what we're doing now is we're saying, well, we've already taken away, or we've already added the value. What was it? What did we start with? So it's kind of like the reverse. And we're going to use a little bit of what we did last lesson to help us with that. So let's say a shirt cost £40 in a sale. The sale was 20%. That's a pound sign. 20%. What was the original price? What was the original price? Okay, so what we do is we've got to think, right, £40 is the sale price. It's been reduced, all right? It doesn't say reduced, but when there's a sale, hopefully we all recognise that's when something's been taken off. So, £40 is the same as, all right, is the same as 80% of our original value. That's what's being represented, because our original value was 100%. We've taken away 20% and got 80%, and that's what the price is. So that represents 80%. £40 is 80%. So now what we do is we go, right, well I need to get back to 100. So I've got to do this in 2 steps, and this is probably where you're going to need a calculator. 80% to get to 1%, I'm going to divide by 80. So I do the same on the other side, divide by 80. So 1% is 0.5. So 50p if you like. So now I can work back to the original price, because I want what was 100. So I can times that by 100, because that'll give me 100%. And 100% is £50, because I times that by 100 as well. So hopefully you can see there that the steps we've taken, right, what percentage of the original amount is £40, all right? We reduced it by 20%, so 100 take away 20 is 80. So £40 represents 80% of the original value. To find 1%, I divide by 80, because 80 divided by 80 is 1, so I do the same to the other side. To then get back to 100%, times by 100, to get 100%, do the same here, £50. I know I've done something right, or I'm on the right lines, because I look at my value there, £50. Yeah, that's an expensive shirt, but it's greater than that value, which we should expect, because obviously if something's been reduced in a sale, then it should have cost more originally, yeah? Which it did. So it cost £50, we took off 20%, and we got to 40. All right, so that's worked. So let's do another one. Well, let's do it the other way around. So, example 4. So, let's say, and I'm probably going to need a calculator for this one, which I have got handy. So, let's say Steve, everyone loves a Steve. So, Steve earns, let's say, £7.20 per hour. So, he earns £7.20 per hour after a wage rise of 15%. So, what was his original wage? Question mark, alright? What was his original wage? Right. So what we've got to do is we've got to think, right, in this case, are we increasing or decreasing? Well, we had an original amount of money he was earning. He got a rise, or a raise, and now he earns more money. So he's increased, okay? So that £7.20 per hour represents greater than 100% of the original value. He's increased it by 15%, so it represents 115% of the original value. Similar to last lesson. Now we use the same method. Yes, the number's bigger, but we use the same method. So we find 1% by dividing by that number. So divide by 115 gives me 1%. So I'm going to do the same there. Divide by 115. That's where I get my calculator. There we go. Here's one I prepared earlier. And that would be, wow, that's a crazy number. So I'm just going to write the first few. Okay, 0.62608 ... And then to get to 100%, I times by 100. Now, just bear in mind, we're hoping here, okay, he earned some money, he then got a raise. So think about it. We should be expecting a value to be less than this, because we're thinking about his old wage before he got his raise. So we're hoping for a value less than this. So I'm going to press times 100 to get my original percentage. The numbers on this one's a bit weird, I've just made it up. But if I times by 100 to get 100%, I'm going to round it, £6.26. And if you type that in your calculator as well, just to check, you'll see why it's rounded to £6.26. So that makes sense. £6.26 he used to earn, and now he's on £7.20. That came from the question. That makes sense, we've done it right. Okay, so I've shown an increase and a decrease. Hopefully I've explained it well enough. And what you can do is either you have been copying it down as I've been talking, or, Miss or Sir, if you don't mind, rewinding so that those 4 examples can be written down because they're all relevant to the exercise I'm going to tell you to do now. So, okay, it's the books we've been working in, okay, and they are over there, alright, they should be over there. If not, they should be quite obvious in the room where they are because it's a big pile of red books. And you're going to turn to page 263. 263, you probably can't see that, but I've said it, 263. Exercise N7.5. And you're going to work through those questions. And as you can see, questions 1, 2, 3, 4 are to do with the first 2 examples that we talked about. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are to do with what we've just talked about, examples 3 and 4. Okay, so if you can make your way through that, and then if you want to just pause me, Miss or Sir, whoever is there covering, if you just like to pause me and then unpause me with sort of 10 minutes to go towards the end of the lesson, and then I'll allow you to go through the answers and I'll tell you where they are. So if you'd like to do that now, that would be great. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully we've worked quite hard. Your answers are on page 390. So could you please read them out, get them to mark in green pen, and correct any mistakes with green pen. And you can see there that it's N7.5, and your answers are there on page 390. So they should have worked through that. Okay, so I won't see you till next. Well, I'm not seeing you. I'm on this video. So have a good weekend. I don't think I've got a lesson tomorrow. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.